Hello everyone, welcome back to Below Par with myself, Lovery. I wanted to do a bit of a test video today. I've got my PXG 5 wood, which I've now had for a few months. I wanted to see, does the loft adjustment actually make a huge difference? And is this something you should be looking at moving on your golf club, or is it just a complete gimmick? Let's hit some shots with the club in 3 different settings. So let's try it in its standard, its lower and a higher, and we'll look at its data and see, does it make a difference? Also, just a really quick one, if you haven't already, please make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers, as that's going to get me in a really good standpoint to start testing some products. Just want to show you guys a bit of the setup as well. So I've got flight scope running. Now I've got 3 settings on here in terms of club that I'm going to use. I'm going to use 3 wood, which is when the club's set at 15.5. I'll use the 5 wood when it's set at 18 as standard, and then 19.5 and a 7 wood. So it just allows me to see between the 3. I've got it set on range ball as well, because we're using range balls today, and then I've got flight scope there lined up towards the target. Right up at the top of the hill there is a blue flag just up here, and that's what I'm going to be hitting towards. So I know a lot of people get super nervous when it comes to adjusting the club, but it's super easy. So all you've got on the PXG is you've got a dot, so you can see a stand that's 18 degrees. What I'm going to do now is literally slide it on and match up those dots, and I'm just going to screw this screw in here, and then it's going to click, and I like to click it personally 3 times just to ensure it's secured. So just screwing, and then grab it, give it a good turn now. 1, 2, 3, and that now is ready and good to go. The club is currently set to 18 degrees. The first 5 shots I hit are just going to be a bit of a benchmark to see what launch this creates and what spin it creates, and then do we then get a difference with the loft adjustment. So I won't speak in between each shot. Let's hit 5, see how we get on. Okay, so just try to hit 5 balls there as consistently as I can. Let's now make our first adjustment. So I've taken the head off and I've set it to 3 wood. So on the screen, so all I'm gonna do now is simply slot the head on 1.5 degrees lower and tighten that up, and we're good to go. So this club now has 16.5 degrees of loft on it. So it's probably a little bit closer to what most people play as a 3 wood. Let's hit some shots. I'm expecting it hopefully to go a little bit further, maybe drop the spin a little bit, but that's not always the case. So let's have a go. 5 swings. Okay, 5 shots hitting the lower setting. Let's now adjust it to higher. So again, all I'm gonna do now, just twist it from where it was in lower, all the way over. There's higher with the plus. Stick it on there. I'm just gonna screw that in again 3 times. So say this club to begin with had 18 degrees aloft. We then dropped it obviously to 16.5. We're now at 19.5 degrees. So it's gonna be playing much more lofted, much more like a 7 wood. Let's have a few shots with this, see then how it feels. So 5 more shots. First impressions, it definitely looks like it's got more loft. Only recorded 4 on the last one, so I'm just going to hit 1 more shot, so it's 5 on each club. See if I hit this one well. Let's get the data on screen, let's have a good talk through, and let's finally answer that question. Does the loft sleeve on a club, does it actually make a difference? Okay, so let's look at all the shots in. So I've just got on 7 wood setting, I haven't even looked yet, so let's go on here and let's click on table, and we can then start to review summary, and we start to see all clubs. Okay, so this is quite interesting. So carry distance alone, 3 wood 231, 5 wood 225, but 7 wood 236. So for some reason the 7 wood flew further, which is interesting. Club speeds all remained nice and consistent. Ball speed actually changed when it went to the 7 wood. Be interested to see why. Now this is quite cool. Spin rates, they seem to be, spin rate being this one here, they seem to be actually quite accurate what you see. So decreasing the loft, we'd expect the spin to drop, and we saw that. So with the 3 wood, it was at 4.4. With the 5 wood, it was at 4.8. and with the 7 wood it was at 5.2. So the increased loft, increasing spin. Now I know these spin rates will seem high, it's because of these range balls. These range balls are particularly spinny. They're only a one-piece ball. As much as it tries to even it out with the settings on Flight Scope, they are a fraction too high. So it's not the fitting on the club, it's just the range balls. Now let's look at vertical launch. Vertical launch is going to be the one that's going to be the decider. So with a 3 wood, 9.8, with a 5 wood, 9.6, and with a 7 wood, 11.2. So between the 3 and the 5, there's not actually that much difference, but there's definitely an increase going into the 7 wood. We're clearly seeing an increase there in that vertical launch, up at 11.2 compared to the baseline 9.6. It's interesting the 3 wood wanted to launch higher at 9.8. That's probably me more than anything, but interesting to sort of see that. The dynamic loft we can see there again, much higher, up at 13.3. So definitely drawing from that already, I can see it's making a difference. It'd be interesting to see it now in the detailed view to see why that 7 wood is going so far. So the 3 wood, the shots that I hit, 233, 239, 224, 235 and 226. In terms of vertical launch on those, if I scroll across a little bit, 8.9, 12.1, 8.6, 10.5, 9.2. Coming down into the 5 wood distances again we saw the distances slightly decrease. Spin rates, okay, nothing crazy there jumping out on me saying there's any anomalies. You can see clearly though the spin between the 3 and the 5 is significantly different. So if I just realign those spins, 4.4, 4.250, 4.1, 4.6, 4.7. These very clearly coming in at 5.4, 5, 4, 4, 5, 5. So definitely seeing increased spin. It'll be really interesting to actually see now why in the 7, 4, 9, 5, 3, 5, 5, 5, 5, 8. Okay, so the spin rate, yes, still that little bit higher, which is good. Be interested to see what the launches are on those. So 11.2. Had one launching at 9.7, which was the last one I hit, so that definitely came out lower. That's obviously brought that average down, because apart from that, there's 10. They're all then 11 and 12. Can we agree on something? Well, yes, we can agree that if I just look at that in summary view and we keep it really simple, yes, if we were just looking at the vertical launch we can see steadily increases as we add loft. Now, okay, not with the first two, but that 11.2 says to me we are definitely seeing more launch, more height, and we're also seeing the difference in spin. So the answer is yes, these loft sleeves do work. Use them to your advantage. That's the one big sort of takeaway from this. So I always find things like that quite interesting, that yes, you know, adding loft, what would you expect to see? Well, you'd expect to see the ball launch higher, which it sort of did. Now, part of that obviously is going to be, part of it's going to be I'm using a range ball. I've only hit 5 shots, I've not hit 10, so I can't guarantee perfection. However, going very clearly up to 11 degrees when I added loft says to me that definitely 100% that adding loft on that golf club with that sleeve is making the ball launch higher. Equally, it's amazing to see the difference in the spin. That's something I wasn't expecting to see quite that clearly. Certainly not, as I say, with the range balls that I'm using, but to clearly see a difference in the spin rate. See the spin drop when I went to lower loft, seeing it increase when I went higher. Again, you can use that very much to your advantage. Now, again, I only hit 5 shots there with each club, but the key message, I guess, with this video is don't be afraid to change the loft on your golf club. Don't be afraid to have a mess around with that. Take a picture where it is at the start and then move it and try it. I know so many people that are almost petrified to move that loft around, and you really don't need to be. It's there for you to use. You're paying the money for that club with the adjustments, so make sure to use the adjustments using to your advantage. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I thought it'd be an interesting one to say to mess around with the loft sleeves on that 5 wood. Key thing for me is just how much I love that wood. It's definitely staying in the bag. I absolutely love it. It's a club that I just feel so confident pulling out. I definitely need to have a mess around with it in the 5 and 3 wood setting. I might even run this again at some point in the future and see how I get on. But guys, thank you very much for watching today's video. Hope you enjoyed it and look forward to seeing you very soon.